Bună dimineața și bine v-am găsit la Agrostrategia. Sunt Vlad Macovei și invitatul meu din această dimineață este domnul Petar Dimitrov, fondator Agricore. Bună dimineața, domnule Dimitrov! Sunteți unul dintre cei mai importanți analiști ai pieței de produse agricole, broker de cereale din regiune și vreau să vă întreb, cum vedeți agricultura românească în acest moment? Cum îi vedeți pe fermierii români? Care e analiza dumneavoastră? Pentru că uneori din exterior vezi niște lucruri mai bine și nu e deloc un paradox. Deci cum vedeți în acest moment agricultura românească?
Good day to you and to your audience. It's a pleasure to be with you and to share our opinion in these turbulent times. It's not easy and yeah, it's at the same time a big responsibility for us to talk about these topics. The world is a difficult one. Well, of course, maybe it will be a bit ambitious to give you the framework of Romanian agriculture from the outside, but still we have a good expertise because we know this market more than 2 decades and we're following how it develops through the year. There are big similarities and big differences between Bulgarian and Romanian farming and trading sides. To my opinion, Romanian farming went a very long path, and I think it's a successful one, at least to probably beginning of the COVID times, and then the war against Ukraine. Then I think it became extremely difficult for everyone, not only in the farming, but in all economic sectors to decide what to do. But what I've seen is that Romanian farmers are doing well in terms of increasing the yields. That's for sure. And they do a little bit better on marketing of their crops. In terms of trade, I see more local Romanian entities going on the market and becoming stronger and stronger because in the past, usually it was only the multinationals that had this big share of the market. Still, they are, of course, very, very important factor. But for example, as a difference with the Bulgarian market, we have extremely strong local companies which have assets, and multinationals in Bulgaria doesn't have assets, which makes a big difference in Romania, where you have multinationals having export terminals and big warehouses. They have big origination teams, and this is a great difference with the Bulgarian market. But still, as I said, I think Romanian farmers are doing very well. If we look at the yields and the production figures, we're definitely going upwards, and they're doing a really great job, to my opinion.
Asta e, ați făcut analiza pe fermierii români. Haideți să discutăm un pic și de fermierii bulgari în oglindă. Care sunt subiectele fierbinți la ordinea zilei și în media și în discuțiile pe care le au fermierii bulgari? Care sunt lucrurile care îi frământă, îngrijorările, oportunitățile?
We are with very close relations with our farmers. We talk to them on a daily basis, and we can feel what are their troubles. Definitely, from the talks we have in the past couple of years, one of the main concerns, of course, is the climate. It's obvious that it's changing. It's like we have a little bit wet May and June, and then July and August are really very hot. And then it's like having Mediterranean climate with September and October very mild and sunny and dry. Of course, this is affecting a lot in the past 2 years, the spring crops, as you can see. But it's not only in Bulgaria and Romania, it's also in Romania. We see winter crops doing extremely well, performing well. We have very, very good crops on wheat, barley, and rapeseed partially. And then with the hot days in July and the lack of any rains, spring crops are practically compromised, and this is for more or less second consecutive year. So climate is becoming extremely big challenge to farmers, and they're trying to find a kind of a way out, because you cannot survive year by year, only growing winter crops. You need for the crop rotation at least some spring crops. So this is one of the things that they're trying to address. And how they do that, it's very difficult question. We have been on a couple of farmers association meetings where we did some presentations and discussion panels. And it's like farmers are trying to implement different strategies, for example, including some new technologies like strip till and no-till. They're quite popular in the past few years. And by this, they're trying to do a couple of things. First of all, they're trying to decrease their costs. Why? If you're a farmer, you can control eventually your costs. You cannot control the sale price you have because it's out of you. We here in the region, we are price takers. We are not price drivers. So we have to adapt to the international price levels. But in this environment with lower and lower prices in the past 2 years, the only way is somehow to try to control your costs. Another question is that fighting with the climate, it's not easy. You cannot do that. You try to adapt. And we talk more and more here in Bulgaria about the irrigation. Can you imagine that only half percent of the acreage which is dedicated for grains is irrigated in Bulgaria? Can you imagine what kind of low irrigation we have? This is not welcome. People are talking a lot about that. And there is a great, incentive to do something in this particular direction. Unfortunately, government is not helping much, and government institutions are pretty bureaucratic, pretty heavy. So even if you have the goodwill and means to do the investment in irrigation, it's not happening. It's not happening very, very fast. Not to forget about the problems we have with the personnel and the staff. But it's not only in the farming. We all see that you cannot find even people to work on the ski resorts or in any other production. But in the agriculture, it's even more difficult because most of the agriculture is happening in the countryside. So you don't have much of people which are very well educated for that. And education is extremely important in the past, let's say, decade, when all these new technologies for precision agriculture, all these GPS and drones and everything, this is requiring a very well educated staff. It's not only to drive the tractor anymore. It's not like that. So staff is something that farmers are really suffering, and they cannot find proper people. And then going back on the marketing of the production and the cost structure of your production, it's very I cannot explain it why a lot of farmers don't understand something which is extremely important. And it's not only to grow your crop, to fertilize it, to spray and to collect it. The next step is the most important: how to sell your crop at the best prices. Unfortunately, I don't understand still why farmers are selling their crops when they need money. They don't sell the crop when, let's say, they see the market is doing well, or maybe to follow some advices or make analysis. If this is the
Observație
right
foarte
time to
corectă
sell.
și aici, sigur, seamănă foarte mult situația între fermierii români și fermierii bulgari. De ce fermierii își vând marfa exact când le arde buza, cum se zice, când au nevoie de bani?
This is a lack of culture, I think, a lack of education. We're doing our best when we talk to them, so they understand that they need to talk with people. You know what's happening? They talk to intermediaries and traders. Traders are their partners, but their purpose is to make profit. So you cannot expect from your counterparty to give you a good advice when to sell or to buy. So definitely they need to do their job and to make a good marketing plan. And marketing plan starts not when you harvest the crop. It starts more earlier than that. For example, why they don't follow the strategies that are doing the big traders. For example, now for new crop of wheat, which is going to be harvested in July and August, why don't start selling your crop in last December or January and February? Prices have been a little bit higher. Why they don't do that? They sell only when really for example, they need some money for the sowing campaign now, and fuels, fertilizers, and seeds, and then they stop and they wait. So I think the most important, and this is something that we will work definitely very hard, is to try to learn them how to do this marketing plan. Probably it's good to sell something in advance. If you see that the market is on your side, you know your cost structure, eventually you know your yields, you know what to expect. Why don't you lock your profit? They don't do that. They always think that they will catch the peak of the market. This is not possible. It's better to have a good marketing plan and to sell step by step, reaching your targets, and then you have a very good average price of your crops. This is something that we really need to work on that. And this is done already in a significant part of Europe, even in the States. You see they are using futures and options and hedging strategies and risk management strategies. This is something that really needs to be addressed, and farmers need somehow to understand that this is one of the most significant parts of their job, to market their crop.
Ok, foarte corecte observații și aici cred că intervine experiența dumneavoastră, e și compania pe care ați fondat-o. Cum îi ajutați dumneavoastră pe fermieri în aceste activități de marketing? Că toată lumea discută de agronomie, de vânzări, de trading, dar mai puțin de partea aceasta de marketing. Aici interveniți dumneavoastră, cum o faceți?
Well, our main business is commodity brokerage, which means that we connect sellers and buyers, inland market, outside market. So we are extremely strong on FOB and CAF, but also in the past years, we started to do a lot of business delivered to the ports or inland, because just market requires this from us. Farmers started to call more and more. Before that, we were working mostly with traders, but farmers, the most open-minded from them started to realize that they need some advice. And what we do, besides the commodity brokerage, commodity brokerage is not only to make business with wheat or corn or whatever. We are not brokering only commodities. We are brokering already information. We have the information because we are daily on this market and we trade it. So what we do with the farmers? Usually, let's say an average farmer that we work with calls us once or two times per month to see how the market evolves, what we think, when probably is the time to sell, what is expected in the neighboring countries. We have developed also a platform for farmers in Bulgaria, which is Agroportal, where we share daily prices for grains and oilseeds, and also very important information what's happening in the region. There is another platform, Agriportal, in Romania, which is serving with our team in Romania for the same things, delivered to Constanța or to Danube ports or inland. So the most important work with the farmers is to inform them. Without information, they are blind. I remember 10 years ago, how they get information, the farmers. They were visited by a representative of traders and they're telling them their sales price. It's not enough. It's not enough. You need to know what's happening in the region. But I understand very well that when you are a farmer, although you have a very good entrepreneurial skills, you cannot be so multifunctional, because at one at the same time, you have to cope with the agrotechnic, with the machinery, planting, harvesting, accounting, financing, EU programs for funding or whatever, and also to sell your crops. It's not easy.
Foarte corect observația. Discutăm despre ce înseamnă perspectivele regiunii din punct de vedere a agriculturii, a prețurilor la materiile prime agricole, informații foarte interesante pentru fermieri și despre faptul că Bucureștiul va fi pentru câteva zile capitala regiunii din punct de vedere al agribusiness-ului, după o scurtă pauză de publicitate. Am revenit la Agrostrategia împreună cu domnul Petar Dimitrov, fondator Agricore. Domnule Dimitrov, vorbeați înainte de pauză de cât de importantă este această informație pe care fermierul trebuie să o aibă despre cum se mișcă piața când să-și vândă marfa. Marketingul e la fel de important ca producția și e foarte, foarte utilă această discuție. Vreau să mergem cu discuția acum un pic în context regional și vreau să vorbim despre această regiune a Mării Negre, Black Sea Region, cum este cunoscută, o piață importantă pentru comerțul de cereale. Avem recent câteva mișcări în piață, discutăm despre anunțul făcut de Rusia alături de Statele Unite că va permite acest comerț liber cu și circulația mărfurilor în Marea Neagră, cu impact evident asupra agriculturii. Cum vedeți această piață? Cum vedeți acest context regional acum, dar și pe termen scurt?
In terms of crops, look, last year, Black Sea region had a very good crop. Okay, we had a few million tons less in Russia, but they had anyway pretty big carryover stocks from last year on the wheat. Ukraine has a little bit lower crop, but Bulgaria and Romania did very well in terms of wheat. In terms of sun seeds, it was a disaster. We all know. It's about 5 to 6 million tons less than the previous season. I feel that farmers, Bulgaria, Romania, Ukraine, they will try to put more sun seeds because of these climate changes that we were talking a little bit before. And expectations are for significant decrease of the corn area to have more sun seeds. And talking about sun seeds, I feel we will have a little bit more, maybe not a little bit, maybe a little bit more of high oleic varieties of sun seeds, because farmers see that in the past few months we have a very big premium on the price of the high oleic sun seeds over the normal linoleic sun seeds. So in terms of prices, look, last year in terms of grains was not so much different than the previous one, but still I made my job and look at some price indication from last year exactly on this date. We are 15 to 20 euros higher today. Why farmers and traders consider this price as low? This is only a perception. And what happened in the past 2 weeks? Market went down a lot. And a lot of analysts are trying to explain what happened yesterday. Okay, it's fine. But what had changed? Have we lost a significant part of the crop? Or what happened? Why the prices dropped so fast? I think this is just a change in the sentiment on the market. And it's not only related to supply and demand of grains. It's related to the price of crude oil. It's related to the price of stocks on the international exchanges. Imagine this is an integrated market where big international financial institutions like the funds, they're just considering these markets are interconnected in terms of a money flow. It's extremely difficult to make a price assessment and the direction of the prices in the following weeks.
România va fi pentru câteva zile capitala agribusiness-ului regional, pentru că urmează un eveniment important, un eveniment pe care și dumneavoastră îl organizați, sunteți în comitetul de organizare și vreau să vorbim un pic despre de ce este important acest eveniment și care este utilitatea lui pentru fermierul român și pentru jucătorul român din agribusiness și ce așteptări aveți, ce se poate stabili în cadrul unui acest eveniment, chiar și în termen de transmitere a mesajelor.
Eurograin exchange event will happen on 10th and 11th April. It's practically the biggest agri-trade event in the region of Southeast and Balkans region. And as I said earlier, here the region is becoming a grain superpower, and Bucharest is a kind of and of course Constanța port is a kind of a natural point where people are gathering and kind of a benchmark what's happening in the region. So it's a natural choice for Bucharest to be this kind of a grain capital in the spring. And we are in the organizing committee together with the grain associations of Bulgaria, Romania, Serbia, Greece, and in the region. It's very good event, and it's a high tier event. You can expect to see there the decision makers, the big traders, big farmers, and all the surrounding industry like agents, logistics companies, storage equipment, crop inputs. So it's a very good platform to talk, to listen to experts, and to make contacts and networking, because this is what it's all about: to connect to people, to talk to each other, and to make business. Focus as a topics and discussion panels will be, of course, the region. We have speakers from Romania, Serbia, Ukraine, talking about the market trends, what's happening, what are the challenges, what's happening, for example, between the trade from Ukraine to Romania to Poland or to west part of Europe. Another interesting perspective is to see not only kind of the sales part, I mean the origination here from Bulgaria, Romania, Ukraine, Russia. It's only where is the demand. So we'll have some very interesting speakers, guests from Egypt, from Spain, from Austria, which will give their perspective how it's going the market there. Where is our competition? Do we have competition from the South America or the States? Of course, we will touch topics also about the regeneration agriculture. I think something very important that people need to understand also, what are the prospects of enlarging of the European Union by accessing West Balkans and Ukraine. Believe me, this will affect a lot the local trade and perspective.
Domnule Dimitrov, vă mulțumesc foarte mult pentru informațiile transmise. Punem punct ediției de astăzi Agrostrategia. Vă mulțumesc pentru atenție. Sunt Vlad Macovei și vă aștept mâine la orele 10 la o nouă ediție. Toate cele bune!